What would you sacrifice for power? Not in theory, not in some distant philosophical debate. If it was laid before you, glowing, undeniable, within reach, what would you give up to take it? Would you betray a friend, bend a moral, tell yourself a lie so convincingly that you start to believe it? And if you did, if you grasped that power with both hands, would you still be you? Or would the person who reached for it be someone else entirely? Power never demands everything at once. That would be too obvious, too easy to refuse. Power is patient. It starts small, a compromise here, a silence there, a single moment of convenience that makes the next one easier. You tell yourself it's just this once. I can control it. Julius Caesar once claimed he was not seeking a throne. He was only defending Rome. But step by step, he made the choices that led him to absolute rule. Napoleon was just a soldier once. Stalin just a revolutionary. Macbeth just a man who wanted more. None of them woke up one day and decided to be tyrants. They told themselves they were doing what was necessary, and in the process they let power shape them. Power does not change for you, you change for it. At first, power feels righteous. You wield it for the greater good. You tell yourself that someone has to take control, that without you the world would be worse. That's the lie every ruler tells themselves. The leader who starts by protecting people soon finds themselves controlling them. The hero who fights injustice soon finds that power's grip does not loosen. They begin making exceptions, bending rules. And then one day they stop bending, they break. Machiavelli, the master of political strategy, wrote that it is better to be feared than loved. Why? Because fear can be controlled, love cannot. And so those in power begin to shift. They tighten their grip not because they want to, but because they have to. And just like that, the noble cause becomes something else. Power stops being a means to an end, it becomes the end. And this is where the true tragedy begins. Power at first feels like a tool in your hands, you believe you are wielding it. But then one day you wake up and realize you are the tool. You are no longer making choices, you are calculating risks, you are no longer trusting people, you are suspecting them. Every ally becomes a potential enemy. Every moment of peace feels like the calm before a storm. This is the price of power. Ask the emperors who ruled from golden thrones, only to spend their nights haunted by fear of betrayal. Ask the dictators who built secret police forces to keep control, not realizing they were prisoners in their own palaces. Ask Richard Nixon, who let paranoia rot his presidency. Ask Macbeth, who became so consumed by power that he saw threats in every shadow. History does not just remember those who gained power, it remembers how they lost it, because power is not a solid thing, it is shifting sand. And the more you tighten your grip, the more it slips through your fingers. And then the test arrives, the moment where power demands its price, loyalty or morality. You cannot have both because power demands loyalty, it thrives on it, but loyalty is fragile. It is not the rock we pretend it is. No, loyalty is conditional. It is a whisper, a promise that lasts only as long as it is useful. And so, when someone close to you begins to hesitate, when they question you, when their loyalty wavers, you must make a choice. Do you listen? Do you try to understand? Or do you eliminate the threat before it eliminates you? Robespierre, the face of the French Revolution, believed in justice until he started executing his own allies. He told himself it was for the cause, that it was necessary, that it was righteous. Then one day the blade turned on him. This is power's cruelest lesson. The greatest threats do not come from the outside, they come from within. And once you learn that, you can never unlearn it. And so you adapt, you harden yourself, you do what is necessary. But necessity is a slippery slope. One day you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. You have become the thing you once fought against. The mask you wore for protection has fused to your skin. Nietzsche warned of this. He who fights monsters should see to it that he himself does not become one. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. At first power was your weapon, now it is your cage. At first you controlled it, now it controls you, and the worst part, you know it, but you are too far in, you cannot stop. Because to stop would mean to lose everything. So what now? Do you hold on, keep fighting, keep tightening your grip, knowing that every day brings new threats, new betrayals, new reasons to harden yourself further? Or do you do what so few have the strength to do? Let go. Because power, in the end, is not measured by what you gain. It is measured by what you are willing to lose. Some wield power and leave behind legacies. Others wield power and leave behind ruins. And some have the courage to walk away, because maybe the greatest act of strength is not in holding power. Maybe it is in knowing when to set it down. So I ask again, what would you give for power? And perhaps the better question, what will it take for you to let it go?